The Latin American debt crisis occurred when some Latin American countries' foreign debt exceeded their ability to pay it. In Twilight Struggle, this event understandably is to the benefit of the Soviets. We will take a look at how this event card plays here today on Legendary Tactics. Latin American debt crisis is an event that veers wildly between being quite useful and having little to no effect at all. It all depends on how things are going in South America for the Soviets. For the Americans, this card is usually easily mitigated. It just depends on how things are going in South America for the Americans. Let's get started by taking a better look at the event now. Latin American debt crisis is a Soviet 2-op late war event card. Triggering this event results in a decision point for the US. The US player must either discard a card worth 3 operations points or more, or if not, the Soviet player may double their influence in 2 countries in South America. For the Soviet player, this is probably a card that you will take for ops, but it depends. The event can be useful, but it's an event that at best only puts mild pressure on the US to discard. First of all, it's not a card chosen by the USSR or determined randomly, but instead it is chosen by the US player. That discard might be a great Soviet event that they were looking to mitigate anyway, for example, or it might be giving your opponent a way out of a potential DEFCON suicide situation. Still, if the US is dealing with a reduced hand size, it can be a disagreeable event effect to deal with. This also depends on the current state of the board. This event could help you to jump ahead of your opponent in influence in a couple of countries. It could help you to reinforce your position there. Or it could have little to no appreciable effect at all. It's much more fun when you have been embroiled in any kind of an ops war, as this event will likely put the disputed country out of reach of your opponent. It's just too bad the influence placement doesn't seem to escalate that often in South America. For the US, the advice would be similar, but just from the opposite perspective. If the event effect doesn't hurt your position in South America that much, feel free to play it for the ops. If your position is vulnerable, and if you have a juicy Soviet 3 or 4 op event card to get rid of, this could be a perfect opportunity, especially if you have already sent a card to the space race this turn. If you have to play the event, the doubling of Soviet influence might be a problem, but it might just lock down a couple of Soviet-controlled countries that you weren't going to compete for anyway. Or, it might only be doubling a single influence, which can be offset by the operations points provided by the card. And if you need to, you can send this card to the space race if you haven't progressed too far down the space race track, although it's not the strongest candidate. In summary, the Soviet player will most often take this card for the operations points, but the event can be situationally useful. For the US player, this will likely be an event you can mitigate one way or the other, and if you can't, there is always the space race. This has been our analysis of the Latin American debt crisis card in the game Twilight Struggle. We hope you enjoyed and got some value out of this video, and if you did, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you here next time on Legendary Tactics.